digital virtual venue for me.
Well, plus you have two veterans from UTMB here. I have been running at UTMB since CCC 2008, where you clapped my hand at the finish line. You were there for all of us. And Abel was at the last edition, right, Abel?
Yeah, it was at the last edition. I will go to the next edition as well. And I also was being able to run in Caulicón in the UTMB race. And actually is where I met you and Michelle. They are in the final and fabulous dinner at the end with all the Chinese guys. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. It was a really beautiful place and with the same spirit that UTMB, but in China, it was really fantastic because we can see that all the codes of UTMB can exist in another country with another culture, and this is fine.
Okay, so in example, I also ran at Mozart 100 twice, and also I met Joseph, who was clapping my hand at the end. So I understand that today you have come here to share big news that involve Ultra Trail Mont Blanc Chamonix, that involve Gaoligong, that involve Mozart 100 and more. So please tell us.
Wow, this is a big question in a little few words, but for me, it's not so few words. I need to give a little bit more. As you know, from 2014, we began to work and to organize UTWT with a lot of races who were completely independent and who did exactly what they decide, and specifically around the rules and the sport rules. And then in 2016, we opened and began UTMB International with a project to organize some races to help and support some organizers on the other side of the sea or in Asia or everywhere where these organizers asked to us. They said, how can we do like you? And so the answer was to say, we can help you and we will help you in this time. And it was the way we chose to organize the franchises, to be sure that these events have all the parameters of UTMB Mont Blanc, the same one, but in another place. And then it is a little bit slow and hard, specifically because of the pandemic and the coronavirus, who didn't help us. And in the same time, we see that in Chamonix Valley and all the valleys of UTMB Mont Blanc and around the Mont Blanc, there is more and more people who want to come together. And now it's too much. We cannot put more people together in these valleys because it is a problem for the I'm looking for the words.
Sustainability, environment.
Sustainability, but also for locals who live here. And it's a lot of noise, it's a lot of people, it's too much. So because of that, we imagine that when we see that there is 500 Chinese, there is 300 from USA, from Argentina, a lot from Spain, a lot from everywhere, we imagine that we have to change something and to be able to offer more races nearest all the runners, and everywhere where there is a big community of trailers, we imagined that it was a good idea to propose an event with the same codes than UTMB brand.
Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, and if I jump in, you have chosen to partner with Ironman, which is great news because of their expertise in endurance events all over the world, and obviously UTMB will be, let's say, like the like of Ironman Kona instead of, let's say, the cradle or the apex of the sport, obviously. And then you have brought together a World Series, which is, let's say, with events from the Ironman side, like Australia, New Zealand, and Mozart, and events from UTMB side, like Gaoligong. But exactly, Catherine, who does what in this partnership? Is it a new company owned jointly? Is it a place where you set the technical expertise and Ironman provides a global expansion? Who owns what exactly?
UTMB Group owns UTMB World Series.
Okay.
To be clear. And there is an alliance with Ironman Group, because Ironman Group is really well developed all around the world and have a good expertise about technical and about a lot of things. But all the values, all the spirit, and everything are UTMB branded, not Ironman branded. So we keep the control of what we began. And the interest is that with this alliance, we are able to go faster, and we are able to propose faster more races in the world.
So, Catherine,
where all these races will be with UTMB standards.
So, Catherine, we are talking about the UTMB Group Series, then World Series, sorry. Then you were talking before that we had before UTWT, Uruguay World Tour, and by UTMB. Does it mean that we are just making and joining these two, Uruguay World Tour and by UTMB, just to create this World Series, or this other will continue together?
Today, it is as a partner, and for the future, we don't do that to imagining that we will stop it in a few years, but the structure next time is not already defined. Today, when we met Ironman Group, and specifically Andrew Messick and Mathieu Van Veen, we speak with them from 3 years. There is 3 years that we speak with them. We were approached by a lot of other organizers like that in the business of sport. But we found with Ironman Group, and specifically with Andrew and Mathieu, a real connection about the values, about the spirit, about what we want to do. So now we do it together. So
does it mean Uruguay World Tour and by UTMB will disappear as a brand name, or they will continue?
No. Ultra Trail World Tour is finished at the end of 2021, and will be inside UTMB World Series if the organizer want it and choose it, only that. And it's the same for UTMB International, and all by UTMBs, there will be included in UTMB World Series. But the there will be included, but not only them. The project is that we will have many, around 30 races, events around the world who are in the UTMB World Series.
Okay, so we will have, let's say, a silver league and then a gold league. Okay, and it's true that let's say triathletes and ultra trailers, we share an outdoor endurance sports culture. However, the truth is that Ironman is a global corporation, sold out for $730 million last year to a media group, Condé Nast, whereas UTMB Group is a privately owned family from Chamonix. Isn't it hard to bring together those so very different culture? The average Ironman runner earns $250,000 a year, according to an Ironman survey. The average ultra trailer is a different profile.
Yes, but you know, we don't worry about that. I think you know the story of David and Goliath,
Yeah.
and I feel like David today, and I don't worry about that, and I know we from 18 years we did what we want, and of course we didn't make so many the same money than Ironman Group, but I don't care because we created other things, and now the company is growing, not too much because we preferred until now to make a network and to find some good expert company to help us. For example, we work with O Connection for the medias. Okay, Sabina. We work also with Fanny Production for the images. We work with Dogcover for the security and the safety on the course. We work with Wide for UTMB Live and also for all the communication, digital communication. We work with a lot of company from a long time for many of them, because some of them we work with them from the beginning or from 15 years, you know, and we find a good way to stay not too big, to keep reactivity and flexibility, and to be able to adapt of a new system. Because as you know, trail running is a very new sport, and it is not completely, comment on dit mature? Mature. And now we need to adapt to be in the good evolution of the sport and to work to help this evolution. But it's better and easier if we are not too big.
Okay, just referring to that, it's difficult to grow without becoming rigid. For example, in Spain, with this pandemic, the standard practice was that every race gave back 100% of the entry fees, which was extremely generous because, of course, most of the organizers have already spent money. In your case, well, yeah, you had a fixed structure of annual people that were working annually, so you were not able to give back all that money. It was above what other places gave back, but it was, if I remember, it was 55 to 45, right? The split. between what UTMB was able to give back from the entry fees after the cancellation. Now,
yes,
Catherine,
okay, 55%, we reimburse 55%.
That's correct.
That's correct. And just because all the runners can understand that from the beginning, when we announce the registration until the start, there is a lot of communication. There is a lot of assistance to them. There is a lot of take care of all these runners, and this need a lot of person who are working. And this person, as all the person in the world, when they work, they need to be paid.
Okay, so
I think it is the same for everybody. And when we pay some person who work for us, works to do something, it's not the sky who pay.
yeah, we agree. I mean, that's true. However, there is concern that the average entry fee for an Ironman is way higher than an ultra trail. And even though we have followed up the entry fees for Mozart, Australia, and Tarawera, and they remain more or less within the usual previous, we still, when we talk to runners, they are concerned that maybe Ironman involvement will imply that in the future ultra trail registration will climb up to be closer to the usual Ironman levels. Is there any provision, or do you think more or less things will stay as they are and it will be similar registration fees?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Because today we are lucky, we have a sport who don't need many material, who don't need to transport the bicycles, to transport everything, to organize and to close all the roads and to find a place to swim and everything like that. I think the price of an event, of a registration today, is the price of all the services provided to the runners from the moment where they're registered to the moment where they are finishing. And it's many more than only what happened during the event itself, because all these runners, they wait that to receive a good information. They appreciate to see the films and all the videos and to be able to share with their families who are able to follow them and to use UTMB Live, to use Live Trail, to use everything. But all these things, we need to create them, and it's job, and it's a big work. So if you want a lot of services, if you want a lot of spirit, a lot of welcome, that we take care of all the families, of all the friends, of everybody, you need to accept that there is a price. But this price is not c'est pas du vol. It's fair. It's fair, I think so. Mm-hmm. And in the same time, respect the job of everybody and your job particularly. I think everybody needs to respect also the job of all the team.
Yes, sure, and that's why so many people is registering every year. So, Catherine, you mentioned before that you want that the Chamonix cannot allow you to make a really big event, even bigger than now, and that's why you wanted to spread with this UTMB World Series. So I have two questions here. The first one is, do you expect that the races that are gonna join the World Series will keep this sense of community, familiar races, as Sergio said before, that you are at the end of the, or you were at the end of the finish line in UTMB, just clapping with everybody. So do you expect that the races coming to the series will have this sense? And the second question would be, for the runners that want to run the UTMB, the final UTMB, the 100 miles, will this be the only way to reach that option, to run UTMB, just running on this qualifier series or any other race into the World Series?
I think you received the press kit and the press release where all the system is explained. And really, to be clear, concerning the UTMB World Series, I expect, but I'm sure, because we decided to be involved in the decision of these races, in the organization of these races, to be involved and to support, but all the strategic decision about the rules, the sport rules, we need today to be something which is really organized and the same everywhere. It is impossible today to propose this kind of circuit if the sport rules are not, have not something common well, the same, like, you know, for the mandatory kit, it seems to be similar. It's because the runners are not able to have 40 or 30 different jackets. They need to have to be sure that the rules are the same. I'm sorry. And in the same time, about the other thing, like the welcome, like the ambience, like the spirit and everything like that, because we decided to be involved completely in the strategy of each event, I can be, promise that all of these will be done, but in the spirit of the country where they are. As you can saw when you were in Gaoligong, you saw there is a very beautiful spirit in the beginning. There is a not clap, but something else. It was Chinese, but it was the same spirit than UTMB standards.
So what about the second question, that in order to run UTMB, the 100 miles or any other races in UTMB, would it be possible to access UTMB running other different races, or will be just stuck to people who will be running the qualification series of the UTMB in the future?
In the future, we simplify the way to access to the different races. We don't need the points. We change the system of the points, but we keep all the qualifiers races. They are qualifiers to access in the UTMB World Series events, and then in the World Series events, you get running stones, and these running stones are the possibility for you to take part in the lottery. Why we don't need the points? Because now we operate from the beginning. We created the formula and the tools of performance index when we began to take part and to be founder members of ITRA. And during all this time, we put this formula and these IT tools with ITRA and the performance index. We put it for ITRA, and ITRA, comment on dit, exploit, operated this performance index. Now, through a contract between ITRA and UTMB. But now ITRA chose to change its system to have a new formula, a new thing, and because we think it is more simple, we decided to continue and to operate ourselves the performance index itself and to use it to have the measure and the proof that the runners have experience to finish a race of 50K or a race of 100K or another race. It is enough for a runner to have his performance index known in the good class of race of distance, and like that we know that he has the experience and we don't need to keep points. And it's because of that we keep all the qualifier races, because these qualifier races are each able to provide the performance index of the runner, and if they want, if they send us that they want, we take care of that. And for information, it is free of fees for them.
Okay, Catherine, as you said, basically you will be focusing, as has traditional been in UTMB, in the 50K, 100K, 100 miles. You will also include a 20K. And since this time you have been able to partner with the original, the pioneer in Ironman, would you be able to partner with the original, the pioneer in mountain running, which is World Mountain Running Association, since they focus on the shorter races, on vertical, classic, and then marathon? Wouldn't it be also some opportunity and also to tie in with world athletics?
Today, no doors are closed.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea to have a partnership with the Ironman group is not about the sport itself. It is about the organization and the logistic and the fact that they are deployed all around the world and everywhere in the world. So technically, they are really they have a really expertise in all the outdoor sports in big endurance. And it's that we take care. But after, if the other organizer or the other each race can ask to be a qualifier race, we have no problem with that. A race, it is only the problem for an organizer to say, okay, the runners who take part in my race are not my property. They are runners, and I welcome them, and I provide to all these runners who take part in my race all the services I can. And these services and this service to be able to take part in the performance index, to be a qualifier race, is a service for the runners, because it's open more possibility to run and to take part in a race and to be a step in their project.
All right. Well, finally, since we are based in Spain, and we also, I mean, for us, South America is home as well. Like Abel and myself, we have been able to race in Patagonia and that. We are very happy that Xavi and his team at the UTMB Valdaran are part of this World Series. That's thrilling for a Spaniard. Would you also envision South America coming in, having an event? Because the opportunities in South America with the Andes, Patagonia are so wonderful.
Of course, there is many wonderful places in the world. In South America, I think immediately it will be a little bit difficult because of a pandemic. But
Yeah.
as soon as possible, of course, we have a look with the organizers, because we prefer to begin to see the organizers who exist, to add something, than to create from scratch the races. But if we are obliged, we will create from scratch. But I think it is more important to approach the organizer who already exists, because they know their country. We know that they have a community around them, and the idea is not to put something, the same thing, like just superficial thing in a country, but we think really hard that the trail running needs to be completely involved in his own country. So we prefer to work with some local organizers.
So, Catherine, just for those that are thinking about this 2021 UTMB,
Like Abel.
how do you see that? What are the plans? How do you see the pandemic at the moment, and what's I know that it is difficult to know now if we could have a really big event, if we could have many runners, etc. But what are your feelings? What do you
about to have a UTMB 2021? Honestly, I am very optimistic. The only thing I don't know is what will be the rules, what will be, how we have to adapt, how we have to do that. But now, with the vaccines, with the possibility to the test and also the medications, I think we have no problem to organize it. But now the problem is that we have some plan B, plan C, plan E, plan, all the alphabet plan.
we hope we can do the plan A.
And I don't know exactly which one we have to choose.
Yeah, hopefully we will have the plan A.
Oh, yes, but it is not a problem of a course. It is a problem of what we have to organize. Yeah. Is it with a mask? Is it with a lot of public in the streets? Is it? We need to adapt, and we will do it. And I promise that the spirit will be here, because it will be a rebirth.
Well, finally, thanks a lot, Catherine. And it's hard to believe that having become, let's say, the Kona of ultra trail, now clearer than ever, it's still a family-run operation. So how are Michelle and the kids and the children? Because I think they are excited as also challenge, right?
It is a big challenge, because as me, Michelle is not younger than before. And but we are really happy and lucky to have our kids with us. To be clear, I took the presidents of the group, but Isabelle, our daughter, is now the director of UTMB Mont Blanc, and I need to respect that and to give his place, Earth's place, to Isabelle. And David is the director of Live Trail, because, as you know, Live Trail is a part of UTMB group, and they have a lot of person around them, because now UTMB group team is around 30 person all during the year, so they are not alone, and it is a very good adventure. I think if I have to compare with course of a trailer through all the races of UTMB, after do the MCC, then the OCC, then the CCC, then the TDS, I think we are just on the start line of a UTMB now.
Well, bon chance, and may the force be with us this year, particularly with Abel.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, and have a nice moment and good training for the end of the summer.
Yeah. Hope to see you in August.
Au revoir.
Probably. Sure.
Bye
Bye.
bye.